Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sah Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Samasta Jana Kalyani Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Satgurum Brahma Vidvaram Satgurum Brahma Vidvaram. Annamaya Dannamayam Athava Chaitanyameva Chaitanyat Dvijavara Duri Kartum Vanchasi Kim Bruhi Gaccha Gaccheti Kim Gangambuni Bimbitembaramano Chandala Vati Payaha Pure Chantaramastika Mrutkumbhayorvambare Pratyagvastuni Nistaranga Sahajanandavabodhambudhau Chaproyam Shvapachoyamityapi Mahan Koyam Vibheda Brahmaha. This tune is simpler, I think, than the other one. In the last session, we had seen the question by Lord Shiva appearing as the Chandala. He is asking Bhagwan Shankaracharya ji, from what standpoint are you asking me this question? What is your drishti behind your speech? He says, Annamayat Annamayam Athava Chaitanyameva Chaitanyat. Are you telling me to remove Annamaya from Annamaya? Or are you telling me to remove Chaitanya from Chaitanya? Really speaking, both are not possible. Everything is Annamaya only. How can I remove one Annamaya from that Samashti Annamaya? If we are not alert, this is what we end up doing. We consider this body to be separate from creation. Means Pancha Mahabhuta, the five elements of creation, this physical body is already included in that. But if attention is only on this body, then one feels this Pancha Mahabhuta is different from Samashti Pancha Mahabhuta. He says from that standpoint also, it is very difficult to see Bheda. And if you see from the standpoint of consciousness, he says the consciousness is only one. Where is the question of Bheda in that Shuddha Chaitanya?
Sorry, Swamiji. Anirudh's mom or dad? Anirudh?
From the standpoint of Chaitanya, there is only one non-dual truth. Where is the question of Bheda? Our whole spiritual journey is to abide in that non-dual truth, by which one doesn't see any Bheda whatsoever. How do you reach there? That is the teaching of Maneesha Panchakam. 5 verses are there. Every verse will talk about one Mahavakya. And the main purpose of Mahavakya is to remove the sense of duality from our understanding. Mahavakya, if it has really worked, that will be the final culmination. The elaboration of the question was the verse that we saw yesterday, the theory of reflection and the theory of conditioning. And we also saw the sadhana pointers through Pratibimbavada, theory of reflection. Means whatever is the nature of consciousness, reflection of that should happen in the mind of that sadhaka. If consciousness is Sat Swarupa, the corresponding reflection of that Sat is acceptance. Consciousness is Chit Swarupa. That absolute reality is Chaitanya Swarupa. Reflection of that is in brilliance reflected in that mind. And all sadhanas that we do are to accomplish this only. Either it is Gayatri Japa, any Japa for that matter. The main purpose of that Japa is to quieten the mind. In that quiet mind, reflection of that absolute reality can take place. And the third one was the consciousness, absolute reality is Ananda Swarupa. So his transaction is also filled with joy. In Vyavahara also there is Ananda reflected in that Mahatma. Now let's see the first verse, which is the Mahavakya Prajnanam Brahma. From Aitreya Upanishad, the Mahavakya Prajnanam Brahma, that is elaborated in the first verse. Jagrat Swapna Sushuptishu Sputatara Ya Samvidujrumbate Ya Brahmadi Pipilikanta Tanushu Prota Jagat Sakshini Saivaham na cha Drishya Vastviti Drudha Prajnapi yasyasti chet Chandalostu satudvijostu Gururityesha Maneesha Mama. Together. Jagrat Swapna Sushuptishu Sputatara Ya Samvidujrumbate Ya Brahmadi Pipilikanta Tanushu Prota Jagat Sakshini Saivaham na cha Drishya Vastviti Drudha Prajnapi yasyasti chet Chandalostu satudvijostu Gururityesha Maneesha Mama. The question was, what is your Maneesha? What is your conviction about non-dual truth? Now Bhagwan Shankaracharya ji, he doesn't directly respond and say, this is what I know about Vedanta. He says, the one who knows about Vedanta in this way, that person is my guru. Be it a Chandala or be it a Vipra, the one who has this conviction, that person is my guru. Both things he has accomplished. He has answered the question also. At the same time, the moment somebody says, I know, that is when that person steps out from that reality. It is just like asking a person, are you asleep? He says, yes, I am asleep. That statement itself is erroneous. The moment we objectify this truth and say, I know this truth, there is a subtle objectification already happening there. So Bhagwan Shankaracharya ji, being a master, he says, Chandalostu satudvijostu. Look at the last line. Be it a Chandala or be it a Dvija. Dvija means somebody who is very learned, or a Chandala. It doesn't matter as long as he has Dridha Pragya. Look at the line above, last quarter. Dridha Pragya yasya asti iti chet. The one who has firm conviction, one who has firm knowledge, that person is my guru. Chandalostu dvijostu saha guruhu iti esha maneesha mama. My conviction is this person who has this Dridha Pragya, firm knowledge, that person is my guru. Now we should keep asking questions. That is how this verses open up. Okay, you said one who has prajna is your guru. What is that prajna? What knowledge does the guru have? Look at the third line. Sa eva aham nacha drishya vastu. I am that absolute reality not any Drishya Vastu. I am not the seen, I am the seer. For a sadhaka, we keep switching. During meditation time, we feel I am the seer. But when we step out of meditation, we feel I get mixed up with the seen. But somebody who has Dridha Pragya, that person never steps out. He is always abiding in that absolute reality. He says, that great saint is my guru. Now, what is Drishya Vastu? Whatever is known as idam, whatever is known as this, everything is Drishya. Let us start from here. Objects are known as this. So where will you put it? Drishya. Option 1 is Drishya, option 2 is Drashta, seer. Drishya. Body, careful, huh? It demands this conviction if we really are convinced about it. Means he has full conviction, I am not the body. Why? Because it is Drishya. Sa eva aham. What is that sa? We will come to. Nacha Drishya Vastu. I am not Drishya Vastu. That is what we are trying to understand. We never consider ourselves as objects. Right? I might say this is my harmonium. I brought it last year. This is my harmonium. But I don't say I am the harmonium. Although this is Drishya, I never say I am this harmonium. But see with body what happens? It is Drishya. But still we end up saying, I am the body. Attributes of the body we conveniently take on ourselves. The one who does not do that, he says that, who is my guru? Now come to mind. Where will you put mind? Drishya or Drashta? See how confident we are, on paper. On paper. But that's where we start, Don't feel bad. All emotions are known to us. They are Drishya. And if you are alert, today morning's meditation was on this topic. Okay, let me see how many of you were alert. Which line of Maneesha Panchakam did we quote in meditation? Second verse, third line. Pratyag vastuni nistaranga sahaja ananda avabodha ambudhav. This is how you figure out. So mind is also Drishya. Whether we understand it today, whether we understand in few years, few lives, this is where we have to come, where we can cultivate a beautiful mind and let go of it. If mind is bothering, there is no way to make it Drishya. All sadhana that we do, all dharma palanam that we do, the final net result of that is to get a beautiful mind. And what is the final stage in spiritual journey? Not to say that I am somebody with a beautiful mind. The final stage is to say, this mind is not who I am, and only a beautiful mind can seamlessly hold on to this statement. Yesterday we were discussing, whenever we speak about dharma, there is a lot of confusion which comes around that word. Generally we go to specific situations and we say what is dharma, what is adharma. Dharma sankat, that is where you will end up most of the times. Now what is sadhana there? How do I know whether I am doing the right thing or not? Bhagavan says, more we do shravanam, more our minds will be tuned to what Bhagavan wants us to do. More we study Bhagavad Gita and study it thoroughly, whatever is Bhagwan Krishna's desire in the way that he wants Arjuna to do, that will become or should become our way of thinking. One Mahatma Ji would say, Nazar milana sadhana hai. Nazar milana means what? We have one perspective towards life. Bhagwan Krishna has another perspective towards life. If we can make our vision match his vision, that is sadhana. Don't analyze one situation and try to see whether this is right or this is not right. Holistically, when a mind starts getting nourished through scriptures, when that mind starts integrating with intellect, that is called as a beautiful mind. But we should remember that is not the final teaching of Vedanta. In fact, that is one of the prerequisite. Entry into Vedanta is only if somebody has taken care of things at mind level. But here, Bhagwan Shankaracharya says, one who knows very clearly, one who never gets deluded about his identity as pure consciousness. He doesn't identify with vasanas, even if it is good vasanas, good samskaras. He doesn't say, I am a good person. Goodness should become his second nature. For a spiritual sadhaka, goodness is just second nature. On the strength of that, he is able to shift attention to that higher reality. Sa eva aham nacha drishya vastu. So this whole inquiry was to emphasize the word drishya vastu. Drishya we are familiar with is objects. Little bit more is this body closer to us. It is drishya, but still we call it as I. Mind, very, very difficult. That is the steepest curve in our spiritual journey, to dissociate ourselves from this mind. But still, if somebody can accomplish it and have this conviction that it is drishya, he says they can abide in that higher reality. Now the emphasis here is, we are not insisting on non-perception of drishya vastu. It is not that only when the blueness in the sky, when it is scrubbed off, only then I will know that the space or the sky is colorless. He says, no need. It can still appear if I have understood that the substratum of all drishya vastu is that Chaitanya. That consciousness alone is the substratum of all drishya vastu. On the strength of that, even while seeing drishya vastu, he can still pay attention to consciousness. See, if I tell you, this harmonium is nothing but wood. Harmonium per se is only a word. You take any part out, you will find only wood. Now if I insist, only when you break down this harmonium, then only I can pay attention to wood. What will be the understanding there? You see, you have not understood what is happening over here. So relation between drashta and drishya is like that. Drishya vastu is an appearance in drashta. And whatever is an appearance, it can still keep appearing. We don't have to insist on non-perception of it. In fact, through that drishya, we can shift attention to drashta. So, nacha drishya vastu iti Dridha Pragya. What is Dridha Pragya? That knowledge which is free from doubts and erroneous notions. Samshaya and viparyaya rahita jnanam. Samshaya means doubt. See, Sanskrit words are very beautiful. Samshaya, the etymology of that is samyak shete jnanam iti samshayam. Samshaya means that which puts knowledge to sleep. That is called as samshaya. Whenever you get doubt about anything, that doubt is sufficient to not make us take the second step. If you hear in the airport, they say gate number 30A. And when they say it on that speaker, you have a doubt, 13A or 30A? Once that doubt comes, you can neither go to 13A nor you can go to 30A. You see how samshaya is? Samyak shete. It will put your knowledge to sleep. So whether I am consciousness or I am this body, I am this mind, if there are doubts, I cannot hold on to that knowledge. The one who has done Shravanam and reflected on this truth and removed all the doubts, the one who has this prajna, that person is my guru. Remember, Atma is not called as guru. Shuddha Chaitanya is the same in guru, it is the same in Shishya also. The difference between Shishya and guru is this knowledge. The one who has this knowledge, he says he is my guru. Okay, we are reading like Urdu now, from reverse. Second line is done, right? Second line clear? Nacha Drishya Vastu iti Dridha Pragya iti chet yasya asti iti chet saha mama guruhu. Now the first part of that third line is sa eva aham. What is his prajna? I am that reality. I am that pure consciousness Om. Now first two lines are elaboration of that Om. How has he understood Om? If you have the book, you should pay attention to the words. Keep following the words. Jagrat, Swapna, Sushuptishu, Sputatara, Ya Samvid Ujrumbate. What is that consciousness? He says consciousness is that which shines forth clearly in Jagrat, waking state, in Swapna, dream state, and in Sushupti, deep sleep state. That consciousness which shines forth clearly in waking, dream, and deep sleep, that consciousness I am. This is his conviction. And that same consciousness is pervading each and every creature in this universe. What all creatures are there? He starts from Brahmaji. Ya Brahmadi Pipilikantam. Starting from Brahmaji all the way to a small ant. Everything else is included in that. All other creatures are included. Ya Brahmadi Pipilikanta Tanushu Prota Jagat Sakshini. This Sakshi which I have understood to be witness of thought is not limited only to this body. It is not only limited to this mind. It is a witness of this entire universe. It is a witness of this entire universe, starting from Brahmaji all the way to an ant. That consciousness pervades every single creature in this universe. The one who has this prajna, he says, that is my guru. Now Maneesha Panchakam is very straightforward that way. This much we can do and go to the next verse. You understood the verse, right? But there is beautiful details. Are you all interested in details?
Yes.
I hope yes. Thanksgiving break, you have come all the way. I'm sure all of you are sincere sadhakas. Now see the beauty of Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti. How do you recognize consciousness in all three states of experience? That is the point. How do you recognize that consciousness in and through all three states? For that, we have to first understand what are these three states. Now, if you just ask us before studying Vedanta, what is waking state? How will we define? This is waking state. Some might be in different state, by the way. They'll be woken up by this. Vedanta is very, very technical in defining. So it says waking state is where we can perceive objects of the world with the help of body and sense organs, plus mind and intellect, plus consciousness. Right now, when you are listening, all these things are involved. Words are the object. Object need not always be a phone or a desk or something. Even word is an object that is getting perceived by the body through our ears. That is a sense organ. Unless mind is there, we cannot hear what is being spoken. When they do this recording, sometimes if something goes off in between you have patches, blank patches, When we do Shravanam also, there are patches. Think about it, If mind flies off somewhere, no matter how long you have sat, there are in between, in study group you'll wonder, oh, did we hear this? But it works out. Collectively we end up hearing almost the whole thing. So it's okay. But notice this, every experience has object, sense organs are involved, mind is involved. But all these three are inert. The one who is enlivening this is that consciousness. So in Jagrat Avastha, this whole set is involved. Object is there, sense organs expressing in the body, mind and consciousness. Let us first look at only avasthas, three avasthas. Second one is Swapna Avastha, dream state. What happens in dream state? World of objects is wiped off. Gross objects. Gross objects, the whole world is wiped off. This body which we are so familiar with, which is so dear to us, that body identity is also wiped off. In dream, we don't go as this person. We go as somebody else. Whatever our samskaras are. So in dream, the boss is vasana, the impressions and mind enlivened by that consciousness. Consciousness is there, but whatever vasanas we have gathered, according to that, projection is happening. Where did we gather these vasanas? In waking state. So recording happened in waking state, replay happens in dream. Only thing is, it is unedited. In dream, there is no intellect to judge. There is no intellect to hold back certain thoughts. See, waking state, what happens? Whatever thoughts come, whatever we want to say, intellect is guiding us. We should say this, we should not say this. In dream state, there is no check whatsoever. So in Vedanta, we are not interested in the content of dream. There are sleep studies, right? People do. They study dream also, REM rate, and everything they'll track. And they say there are units of 1.5 hours in which we sleep. So if you want to get a good night's sleep, you should not wake up in between that cycle. If you break it at 45 minutes, that is when you have a disturbed sleep. This is not the main topic of Vedanta. Okay? What is the takeaway here? Takeaway is only if we have Shuddha Vyavahara in our waking state, indicator of that is in dream state. If somebody can be devoted to the Lord in waking state, Goswamiji says, Bhagwan Ramchandraji walked in the forest. How were his footprints? Bhagwan walked. Sitaji saved Bhagwan's footprint, walked on the left. Lakshmanji saved both of their footprints and walked on Sitaji's side. This Drishya, if somebody gets in dream, that person will get moksha. That's an indicator of a pure mind. Now see, if he does not meditate upon the Lord in waking, there is no way he will get it in dream. So that is one indicator that purity of mind is shown in dream state. In Navada Bhakti, one of the devotion is Sapanehu nahi dekhahi paradosha. Who is a devotee of the Lord? Even in dream, he doesn't see faults in others. Sapanehu nahi dekhahi paradosha. Now when is that possible? Only when he does in waking, no dosha darshanam. Doesn't see faults in others in waking. That reflects in dream state. But what is the thing which is continuing from waking to dream? Mind is continuing. And consciousness is continuing. Now we come to the third state, which is deep sleep state. In deep sleep, world of objects is wiped off anyway. Body identity is wiped off. Mind, which is so bothering. Bhagwan says, I'll give you a glimpse of absolute freedom. He says, mind is also dissolved, intellect is also dissolved. No thoughts are there. What remains is only pure consciousness. Vasanas, because they are unmanifest, it doesn't matter. We start getting bothered by vasanas only when it becomes a thought. And it expresses in the world outside. That is when vasanas start bothering. In deep sleep, everything is an unmanifest state. That is why we are in bliss. But important thing is, consciousness continues even in deep sleep. That's why when we wake up, we can say, I slept well. And nobody else can say that for us. Imagine somebody comes and says, you had a good night's sleep yesterday. He says, I only know whether I slept well or not. Of course, other indicators can be there. Snoring, no snoring, all of that is different. But if deep sleep was not there, we would not have claimed a separate state. If somebody comes and tells us, you only have two states, waking and dream. Will we agree? We says, no, there is one state where I slept so blissfully. But next day I woke up and I remembered that I slept very well. The one who is able to pay attention to that consciousness in and through all these states, that person is my guru. He doesn't get carried away by objects, doesn't get carried away by body, by mind. His attention is always on that higher reality. Dream and deep sleep, really we don't have to bother too much. Actually speaking, the main analysis happens in dream and deep sleep. Vedanta's main inquiry is in deep sleep. When Mahatma Ji would say, Jagrat is halki pulki avastha. Asli cheez to Sushupti mein hai. Means real thing is in Sushupti. Waking state is very insignificant. Don't give too much importance. And we do exactly opposite. Waking world is so overpowering that we never analyze dream and deep sleep. They say Sushupti or Swapna ke saath anyay hua hai. Means you have not done the justice to evaluate those two states well. If you inquire there, something new will open up. Okay, the main point here was Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti, appreciating the definition, but most importantly, paying attention to that consciousness which continues in Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti. Now imagine, no matter how many years of life we go through, we'll be either in one of these three states. Whatever is true in these three states will be true all the years of our life. If you can analyze one day, then you don't have to analyze future number of years, some other time. It says right here, right now, just look at these three states. Now, Jagrat Avastha becomes very, very difficult to pay attention to that consciousness. Agree? Swapna Avastha, we don't have control. Whatever happens in Swapna. Sushupti Avastha, deep sleep state, Bhagwan only takes care. We don't have to pay attention to consciousness in deep sleep state. Where do we have to pay attention to? In waking state. So in Panchadashi, there is a beautiful metaphor given of waking state, how things happen. Okay? The metaphor is of a theater lamp, Nataka Deepa. The main thing of Natak is na atak. Don't get stuck in this waking world because things are happening like a play. What are the things that are happening? He says, first there is a theater. Okay? In that theater, the audience is sitting. So the objects, Vishayas that are there, that is like the audience. And then there is a performer. Right? The dancer who is there, who has to perform. That dancer is like the intellect. Mind and intellect together. That is dancing to please the audience as though. The objects. Then there are musicians who are holding the swara, tala and everything. He says those musicians are the sense organs expressing in the body. Different sense organs are like the musicians who are making this mind dance. Buddhi. We don't have to distinguish too much at this point. Mind, intellect together is the dancer, and sense organs are the musicians. There is a chief guest to that program. Many programs in India, they don't start without a chief guest, Even Jnana Yajna, 1.5 hour talk, chief guest will speak for 1 hour. And say, I will not take much time, 1 hour gone. So that chief guest is his ahankara. Perceiver, feeler, thinker is the chief guest, Prabhu. But in and through all this, there is Nataka Deepa, the theater lamp which is uninvolved in the play. That is the Sakshi, which is pure consciousness. If the play is very good, lamp doesn't get congratulated. Play is very good, lamp doesn't get any credit. Somebody forgets a line. Hanumanji's tail falls off. Even if that happens, lamp doesn't get any credit. He says, in that way, this Jivan Mukta lives, paying attention to this whole world without losing sight of that higher reality. That higher reality is Shuddha Chaitanya, which is like that theater lamp. Nataka Deepa. Mind also he can see as something which is playing its role. The script is written by Dharma. Script of that mind and intellect, that is as per the duties that is required. So that is this theater lamp, Nataka Deepa. So in Jagrat Avastha, if one has to pay attention there, one needs to develop this ability to not get caught up with whatever is happening in the play. That is one discussion question. If consciousness is Putatara, if it is so clear, why can't we see it? Right now, if somebody asks us, is consciousness there here or not? Confidently, we should be able to say yes. It's only when our mind gets carried away by objects or by thoughts. Even to appreciate thought is very difficult. Right now we are seeing the world. To appreciate that there is a thought which is helping me see the world. To come to that point, it needs a lot of introverted thinking. One Mahatma Ji, somebody came to him and said, teach me meditation. A young brahmachari must be. And the way he came inside, he threw his shoes at the door, one shoe over the another. While he came inside, slammed the door almost. And he said, Maharaji, teach me meditation. He sent him back. He said, the down shoe is feeling the weight of the top shoe. Keep both of them next to each other. The door is still in pain. Close it slowly. Meaning what? If we cannot pay attention to objects outside, how can we pay attention to thoughts? So Vedantic meditation requires this kind of fine-tuning. But if somebody can do that, he says they can abide in that higher reality. Okay, the first line is clear. Jagrat, Swapna, Sushuptishu, Sputatara, Ya Samvid Ujrumbate. If it is Sputatara, why can't we see it? One is lack of Vairagya. Either attention is on object or sometimes on thoughts. If that is too bothering, very difficult to pay attention to the consciousness. Just like when we did Om meditation, we saw the silence which is there is ever present. But if attention is on sound, that silence is as though unnoticed. Same here, consciousness is ever present, but our mind is chattering so much. Always talking something or the other. And sometimes when you look at our mind, you feel very humbled. Right from day one onwards, right from morning till evening, mind is never empty. Have you thought about it? If you empty the mind, you will go in samadhi. Patanjali Yoga Sutra, it is said, 1.5 minutes, if you can empty the mind of thoughts, that person will go in samadhi. So continuously, this mind is having some or the other thought. To get a thought of Vedanta is very, very difficult. In our computer application, when you have too many apps running, it gets hanged, right? What is the error message that comes? Please close some applications and try again. This is exactly what happens with mind. So many things running around, even though we have studied in Maneesha Panchakam. Jagrat, Swapna, Sushuptishu, Sputatara. It is very, very evident. Sputatara means very clear. But still this person finds it hard to pay attention to that Chaitanya. So the whole journey is Kamya Nishiddha Karma, close those applications. Kamya means desire prompted actions, which is not my duty actually. Even if I don't do it, I'm okay. Many things we do that way. Everything we do from morning till evening is not what our duty demands. And Nishiddha Karma, of course, has to be left behind. When that is done, a mind which is lighter, that mind can appreciate this consciousness. Sputatara, ya samvit ujrumbate, ya brahmadi pipili kanta tanushu. That consciousness which is pervading all the way from Brahmaji to an ant. Means I am not finite. Once you have shifted attention to this consciousness, knowing the mahima of that consciousness. Mahima means greatness. It is not limited to this body, but it is infinite. So the first line indicates how to distinguish Brahman, which is of the nature of knowledge, from knowledge which is taking place in the mind. Both are knowledge, but there is a difference. One is called knowledge at thought level, which keeps coming and going. No thought can stay with us forever. The knowledge which keeps coming and going, that is at mind level. The knowledge of samvit, ya samvid ujrumbate. The Samvit, which is of the nature of knowledge, is such, it does not come and go. There is no coming and going in that consciousness. It is ever the same, ever available to me. That consciousness I am. At mind level, how do we understand it? It says thoughts keep coming, thoughts keep going. At mind level, what do we call a focused mind? When similar thoughts can rise without any interruption, that is called as a focused mind. Sajatiya vritti, it can be different facets. You are thinking about a topic, you can have different ideas about that topic, but it's not about different subjects. So that is called as vritti jnanam. Vritti means a thought. Knowledge at thought level happens like that. It keeps coming, it keeps going, and more we can have similar thoughts. That is the insignia of a focused mind. Knowledge or consciousness which is of the nature of knowledge, it is called as kutastha jnanam. Kutastha jnanam means there is no coming and going, there is no change in that knowledge. So in meditation, when we sit down, these are the facets on which we have to meditate. When I say I am not the mind, the thought is, I am not this thought which is coming and going. I am that consciousness which is ever present. In my light, all thoughts are illumined. Kutastha means an anvil. You know, the goldsmith or a blacksmith, they will use that anvil to bring different objects, shape them, and send them away. But no matter how much you hammer on that anvil, the anvil doesn't get changed. So that consciousness is like that anvil, which is eternal. No matter which thought comes, no matter which thought goes, it says you don't hold on to it. And that is the beauty of thought. You don't hold on to a thought, thought will not hold on to us. Vishayaha vinivartante niraharasya dehinaha. You don't hold on to something, that thing will let go of us. The one who is able to accomplish this, that person is my guru. Okay. Now there are some questions here based on, I think, previous verses. So I'll quickly cover before we pause. How do one practice Purushartha in daily fast and run life with professional pressure and kids' activities? In fact, that is the best place to practice. Right? See, driving when we learn, where do we learn? Generally on an open ground. First one, we should not directly go on the road for other safety. Other safety. Yeah, come to PRC directly. Don't do that. But see how conscious we are. Right? The first time when we learn, how conscious we are, how alert we are. I was sharing this example of skiing. If you have done the skiing anytime, the first time when you do skiing, it's not a fun experience. You keep falling several times, so conscious, and small kids zoom past you. But the main thing there is, once you get the knack of it, then you can enjoy the scenery, then you can do diamond slopes, do so many other things. So there is one saying, wherever Bhagwan has kept us, that is the right place. And we should not feel that some other place, if I can go, there I can do my sadhana, not here. Bhagwan, he will pick us up and put us in the right place. Make us be with the right people. So in that perspective, when we start seeing, slowly we will see every day becomes an opportunity. My response yesterday and my response today should be more aligned with Bhagwan Krishna. Means my today's response should be more aligned with Bhagwan Krishna's way of looking at life than my yesterday's response. Remember that one phrase, Nazar milana sadhana hai. So that is the beauty of every ashrama, in particular Grahastha ashrama, that we are doing so many things, morning till evening, but paying attention to that reality in and through all those duties. Even here, parents say, right? They might be keeping an eye on the kids. Means you are doing your thing, but you are also keeping an eye. So Ramakrishna Paramahansa would say that. Just like a mother keeps an eye on the child, like that sadhaka should keep an eye on that reality. If you miss it, then we'll get carried away. So much so that we'll get tired. Duties, if they are minus Bhagwan, minus some higher goal, even control of mind for that matter, if you don't do it for the sake of consciousness, if you don't do it without this goal of abiding in consciousness, very soon we'll get frustrated with it. Because mind is part of Maya. Don't think anything in this Maya we can perfect. You can only take it to a level where you should negate it. Beautify the mind, negate the mind. Okay? Why there are 4 Mahavakyas versus 1 Mahavakya? If there are 4, we still call it as 4 Mahavakyas. Really speaking, there are several Mahavakyas. 4 are popular ones. 4 are well-known ones. Wherever this understanding comes, I am that consciousness and this world is consciousness. And that consciousness is one. That is a Mahavakya. So it will not always be said, Tat Tvam Asi. Or this Vakya is Prajnanam Brahma. That consciousness is infinite. It won't be said so explicitly in all places. Wherever this understanding comes, that is called as Mahavakya. Any reason why we did not go deeper into the introduction verse and the background of this text? The commentary in the book gives a different perspective. True. In fact, that is the freedom we have in treating every text. One Swamiji would say, Vedanta should remain unadulterated. We are so particular, right, about everything should be pure. Ghee also we ask, is it Shuddha Desi ghee? He says Vedanta should be like that. When you are discussing Vedanta, don't bring any other topic. Some traditional Mahatmas, even to discuss Dharma topic, is a digression. You know why? Because with lot of effort, our mind turns towards that higher reality. Somewhere we get a glimpse that I am not this person, I am that pure consciousness. From that state to bring out and again discuss something in Vyavahara, it is double the effort. That's why take that even with children, I'm saying. When we have to tell some stories, right, to them. Now, Pauranic stories might be sometimes said in a very different light. And it might be such that if you have a lot of Shraddha, you will not have many questions. But when we tell children, our thought should be, what is going to benefit the child? So whatever part is relevant, that you emphasize. The goal is to be happy in life. Not to take up some topic and then get caught up in that. And all our minds are collectively agitated. Anyway, our minds are agitated without studying Shastra. So after studying Shastra, why bring that same agitation? So focus on the main topic. Main topic is not Chandala. Main topic is not Vipra. Main topic is, I am not that. Sa eva aham nacha drishya vastu. What is that sa? Sa is that consciousness. Sa eva aham. Okay. What is difference between Annamaya Kosha of a person who is Sattvic versus Tamasic? There is not much difference in Annamaya. Difference is in Manomaya. Because Annamaya contributes to Manomaya. In Chandogya Upanishad it is said, Annamayam hi somya manaha. The type of food that we eat, that affects our thinking. So if somebody is interested in a sattvic life, somebody who is interested in living a spiritual life, for that person, food becomes a very sensitive topic. Means you can directly see the impact. You change your food for a few days, you can see the impact of that food on your mind. It should be to an extent which is practical, because there are several questions will come, is eating onion garlic okay? Is eating non-vegetarian food okay? So all of that is, most of it is preference. But if a sadhaka is there, for a sadhaka, it is said all of that is not okay. And we should also ask ourselves, is it being eaten out of taste or is it out of necessity? An honest answer, we don't have to judge somebody else. For ourselves, we should ask this question. Okay, Annamayam hi somya manaha.